Hello YouTube, Cnita here, and this is going to be a different type of video. This is my Fiat 1.2 Spider, and I'm going to go over some quirks and features. Okay, no, sorry, that's actually copyrighted, but what I'm going to do is tell you what it's like to own one of these for the past 2 years. I've had this brand new since 2017, and as I am almost ready to hand this back since it's a lease, I wanted to show you guys around it and see what it's like for 2 years. So if you don't know much about the car, this is Fiat's like homage to the original one back in the 80s, which it's a little bit different. It only has 2 seats versus the 4, and it doesn't have the same engine, even though they still put this nice double bubble hood back on. The engine in this one though is a 1.4 liter multi-air turbo, making 160 horsepower and 180 foot-pound of torque. It's the same one they use in the Barth, the Fiat 500 Barth. I won't go into all the technical bits because that's not what this video is for, so if you want to know all the technical bits, pause the video now and you're able to see everything right here. Before I move further though, I am going to address this, the whole Fiat. I guess for people do call this Fiat, and yes, it's true. Basically everything beside the underpinnings of the car, the chassis, the gearbox and everything is all from a Mazda Miata. And a lot of the interior, which you'll see now, is also from a Mazda Miata, but the styling and the engine are all Fiat, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You get a Japanese built underpinning of a car, and then you get an Italian style car, which is the best of both worlds. So unlike most other car reviews or reviewers, I didn't wash the car. I haven't even actually cleaned the car out for about a couple of weeks leading up to this video, because I wanted to show, it's meant to show what's like owning for 2 years. So this is what's going to be. Not everybody has all the time in the world to go clean out the car all the time. So if you're looking around it, yes, it's dirty. Now of course my car is white and it's going to show the dirt, and most of the dirt actually is concentrated right here. Oh, there's a bump in my mirror. It's right here at the rear wheel. That's most of the time where I have to actually clean off the car. Some of the stuff's on the front bumper, which would be bugs and whatnot, but regular dirt, it's all here either side of it, either at the front or at the back, and even more so, the actual back of the car gets dirty sometimes as well. I don't know why the under the license plate gets so dirty, but it does. So yes, the car is going to be dirty in the video. It's the same with the inside, but I suppose this is what it's like to own one of these. Just if you don't like the dirt, don't get white one. Maybe get a black one, or blue, red. I don't know. I think that might show red dirt just as bad. So what is it actually like to drive daily, as I do? And I'll get to actually driving it later, but for right now I'll show you the inside and what it's like to sit in this daily. Pretty good. It's a 2-seater Roadster, okay? It's not a family sedan, so you kind of got to know what you're getting into here, but it's surprisingly roomy. It's a lot bigger than what it looks like from the outside. I'm 5'10". I mean, and I'm actually sitting up. I'm comfortably sitting here, and without the seat being all the way back. So you can definitely be about 6'2", I would say, and fit in here just fine. As far as the interior quality, I mean, for being a Fiat, it's good. There's a lot of soft touch materials here on the door compared to the Mazda Miata, which uses a body colored piece of plastic. The seats are comfortable and nice and bolstered here with speakers up there. So as I was saying, when you actually get to the passenger side, it is a little more roomy, and if you take a look in here, it's a Mazda Miata with a nice 6-speed manual, which by the way is exactly how you want to be driving the car. The steering wheel, the infotainment system is the exact same. The gauge cluster, these buttons, yeah, everything is basically Mazda here. Now I will say you do have very minimum storage space in here as well, but you actually go to get used to it. You have a little center console part 1 here, which is holds a garage door clicker. And it's actually a nice soft touch material here, so you can rest your arm on it just fine. Then you also have a second storage center console part 2 here, and that is about that holds about the manual, and you can actually hold quite a few things in there as well. Now if you pop behind the seats though, there are actually 2 secret storage spaces. There's one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side, and they both there's quite a bit of room there, except of course you can't access it while driving, so it's practically useless. Now, what about trunk space? And that's actually surprisingly roomy. Now again, I've got a bunch of just random stuff in here, whether it be well, a drone or some camera equipment, and that's your tire relief kit there, which I need to put back because it is a little air compressor which you might actually have to use, so I will get back to that. There's another air compressor in here as well, and a tow hook. But surprisingly, you can fit 2 suitcases, like travel size suitcases in here, with each of these wings over here perfectly open. And then or you can fit some couple cases of water. You can fit well, you can fit a whole gaming PC in here as well, because I've done it before. It's actually quite roomy. There is a lot of space in here, so you can do this on your, you can take this on grocery runs and all that stuff just fine. So now, what is this actually like to drive? And before we get into that, I'm going to address a couple of things. Number one, yes, this was shot at a later date, so you might see a little bit of beard going on. So no, I'm not magic and just randomly grew a beard for a little bit and then it's automatic, it's just randomly gone after. I wish I was though. I know I'm not a very good motor journalist, and I'm trying to have enough continuity as possible. Number two, there's no microphones here, like as you probably can already tell. This is a GoPro Hero 5 session shot at in the corner of this windshield with just the stabilization on the camera. I'm not even going to post to stabilize it. I don't feel that's necessary, and this will give you the best, basically the best feeling of what it's actually like to be in the car, because it's a light body, it's shaky, it is. You know, stuff rattles. I mean, the mirror going, if you're just going a little speed sometimes, it shakes. You know, it's a thin, the body's thin, but that's what it is. If you've never actually driven any one of these, either the Miata or the Fiat 124, I can tell you, it's fun. It's precise. It is mechanical. It is raw. There's nothing else to describe it. It is you and the car and the road. No fancy machinery, you're not getting pushed and pulled by some electronic system, it is you. And even this road that I'm on is a bit of a back curvy road, and I'm confident doing speed on it, not over the speed limit, but I can get up, and I don't mind taking the corner at the rated speed limit, because I know it's safe, and I'm doing it with one hand on the wheel, which is not safe driving practice, but it's confident. It's confidence as this car will do it, and I know it will do it. Every time, unless you've broken it, then that's on you. But it's just a blast to drive. Okay, I don't know how else to put it. It's, you get it. You're gonna have a smile on your face no matter what way you go, on back roads, on regular roads, no matter on the track. You're gonna have a smile on your face. But let's talk about everything else in the cabin. So as you do, road noise right here isn't so bad on it. It's pretty manageable, you know, for what it is. I mean, the car is no super fancy wind reduction machine. It's not very an insulated cabin is actually the correct word for that. Thin panels, like I was mentioning before, with why you might get a shaky video here. But you can easily hold a conversation with someone here without no problem. And if you turn the stereo on, which I'm not going to for copyright reasons, you're perfectly okay too. That you don't hear the road noise. Still gonna hear some of that nice exhaust note, which is okay, and I'll do more about that in a little bit. Fuel economy on this, I mean, yes, it's rated for 25 and 35. About right. You can easily get that if you're driving conservatively. I mean, I average about 230 or so miles per tank. It's a 9-gallon tank here. It does take premium fuel, have to take that into account, but I mean honestly, it's usually been about $20 to $26 to fill a tank. What is it like with the top down? First off, it's really fun because on the stoplight, top goes down. Now I will say you can put your windows down, and so this will be exactly like it'd be everything's down, see what the noise is like, which will hear extra cars on the road. But due to a nice handy dandy wind deflector back there, it's actually quite easy to hold a conversation in here, kind of like I'm doing now. Now, if you want to lessen the road noise, obviously just put the windows up like I'm doing now. And now you blocked out from a lot of it. I will say though, depending on your height, like mine, I do advise having a hat in the car, such as this one here. So when you're actually staring in the sun, look, it's behind me right now, it's not in your eyes, because this doesn't do much at all. Oh, it's just so fun to drive. It's kind of like the, using an Italian word to describe the Alpha, if you remember James about to put some money in her jar, it's exactly the same way. They've gotten a lot of slack for being hairdressers cars, and I can tell you right off, they're not hairdressers cars. These things are whatever you want to be. You get camaraderie. There's many times I've been driving in Miatas and other 124s. We'll say hi to each other and pass each other and have a little bit of fun on the road because, well, it's the same car. You know, have fun with it. I'll say the noise with the top down is great. It's so good. It's like I'm smiling, like, and I always have a smile on my face when driving this car. It's just really hard not to. So say you're done with the convertible and you want to put the top up. Nice and easy again. Tops up. Done. And you can actually take the top up and down up to 20 miles an hour. You don't actually have to be a complete stop, but do that sparingly and safely, because it's no fun crashing just to get your top up. Let's talk about this transmission. So I've got the 6-speed manual, which is honestly I think the proper way to drive this car. It shifts great. To pair the transmission, you've got a great clutch with it as well. This clutch here, I would say, is probably one of the easiest clutches to work. It's got just the right amount of weight to it. It's not stiff like some Mustangs have. It's not too light like some other cars. Honestly, if you wanted to learn how to drive manual, this would be a great car to do it in, because the setup of it is nice. I actually have taught people how to drive manual in this car for that reason. One thing I have noticed over 3 years of ownership is, one, the cars around, you'll definitely turn heads, even though it's not as new as it was when I got this. People still look at it as if they don't really know what it is. You know, if they see a Miata, they're like, oh, it's a Mazda Miata. But this is something a little bit more special. You'll actually get random cars trying to race you a little bit. You'll see definitely bigger cars thinking, oh, well, I can take you on, but it's like, hey, you're in a bigger car, so okay, fair enough, but I'll win because I'm smaller and more nimble and I've definitely better power to weight ratio. Or you'll find sports cars trying to race you and just like, you know what, dude, just obviously you're going to beat me here. And it is something you do have to know. It's like, you're not going to win races, you know. If somebody's got a BMW next to you, you're probably not going to win that race. Let's give it some gas. I will say, traction control in this car is great. You don't even really need to have it on, even though you should for safety reasons. But when you got the traction knob, because it actually handles great. Sliding this car is a lot harder than it seems, and I'm not joking. It truly is. When it's wet out, of course, it is actually easy. But on the dry, yeah, it's not a piece of cake. I'll tell you that. So you don't have to worry about that, especially if you're wanting to get in this for a kid or something like that. So I've just been showing some city life with it, and which is again where probably most people will keep it just around the city and on these normal roads. It's great. You can have a lot of fun. But what is it like the Italian countryside, well then gladly down the coast, top down with the smoke in the trunk, maybe going to a beach house, you know. And it works actually quite well. This is a long road trip. It's 120 miles or so, about a 2-hour drive there and back. Comfort wise, look, I'm not a small dude and I'm not a big dude. You know, I'm 5'10", about 5'9", 5'10" or so, and I've got a nice comfortable seating position, so I'm perfectly okay. There's no real issue with me sitting here. You know, yes, after 2 hours, your back gets a little crooked, but you can always change that by putting the seat back if you needed to. That's fixable. That's not an issue that is like that be-all, end-all issue. You know, you can change that. You also have cruise control for those times where you know you want to just stick to a certain speed limit. Like now, I can pop cruise control, 78 miles an hour here, no problem at all. Leg room is fine. Again, changeable, move your seat front and back depending how you like it. That's easy. You're able to get Android Auto on these through a little handy application. You can sideload on it. So sorry, Apple users, not available just yet. But once you put, I've got Android Auto on. It's through the screen. It's great. It works just fine. So I have navigation. I control my music, control everything. Granted, the only problem about it is calling. You can't call because the way the Bluetooth works around this Android Auto, it's not seamless like it would be on an actual official app. But once you get past that, it's pretty okay. Easily, 2-3, like a 3-day trip, which I've done here, no problem. I mean, in the bag I had, you could probably fit about 5 days worth of stuff in there. So yeah, it's very well doable actually. So it is possible. And for some reason, if it's too small, you also have a passenger seat here, which you can store a lot of stuff on as well. It's actually soles the passenger footwell and push the steel like that. You could definitely do a little road trip array, a little weekend getaway with 2 people in this car. And why wouldn't you? Go somewhere nice, put the top down like I just made it. So, does this car work on road trips? Yeah, it does. It actually does. It's comfortable. It's comfortable to drive. If you ever get in sections that you want to go a little bit faster, or you want to have some more fun, you can do that too. Can you take road trips in this, and are they going to be comfortable and feasible? Yes, actually, yes, they are. You've got good fuel economy, a relatively comfortable drive. I mean, right here, yes, eventually it's going to get a bit like, okay, maybe you want to move around a little bit, but other than that, it's fine. And plus, once you get to destination, you're going to be up and about anyway. You got the storage space, whether it be the trunk with enough for 2 suitcases if you wanted, if someone does that, maybe got camera equipment. And if you're going somewhere to meet someone, you need to bring an extra storage. You got a nice sizable front seat that can hold a lot of stuff. Again, including 36 balls of water in the passenger footwell. Another bit on road trips. Okay, so what if you got caught off GPS in the wrong way? This is why it is a good road trip car. Now, I should have done this a little bit earlier, but even right now, the roads that I just found are fucking amazing. And they're meant for this car. They're driving roads. Just wanted to add that little bit there for you guys, because honestly, that's what this car is about. You're able to take it and explore and find roads like this, and you just have fun. You just have so much fun. So yeah, you actually can use on road trips. Now, sadly, this car is not without its faults though, and actually, we're going to go talk about them now, but while I'm still in the car, there's something that I will also like to mention. I will say the fuel gauge always reads different, like your max range always goes up and down depending, it's never correct for some reason, and then your clock here on the infotainment system is just always wrong. It will offset itself. Mine eventually became 40 minutes offset, and now it's gone to about 20-25 minutes offset. I don't know why. That's just I'm going to speak about this a little bit later, but the tire pressure light, it always will just pop on and make a loud beep, so just be mindful of that. But you'll hear more about that in a little bit now. But other than that, honestly, to wrap up just with like the actual driving part of this, it's fun, and I'm going to miss it. So, no car is without its faults, and let's go through some of these. First one, you might be thinking, what's the maintenance like on this? And now, actually, surprisingly, it's not too bad. I've had this for it's after 24,000 miles right now, and I've literally just been doing its regular oil changes, and I believe my second service was a tire rotation, so it's not too so actually like that, it's not so bad, and it's about $80 a piece from the dealer. That's actually the only thing though, is you kind of have to go to the dealer for this, because they use a oil that's very, I mean, it's not hard to source. Advanced Auto Parts has it if there's one of those in your area, or you can easily find it online, but many mechanic shops aren't going to have it readily available for you to go get an oil change from them. So you kind of, if you're not going to do it yourself, you got to take it to the dealer. That's not so bad. Also the washer fluid, or the tank, which you'll see now on screen, isn't terribly small. It seems to just run out quite quickly, and there's just nothing you need to do about that. And the stock wipers, those also, well, not the best. They worked really fine once the car was there, but now after actually 3 years of ownership, I should say. Sorry, I know I've said two all over, but two in some months. They're kind of getting worn out, and well, I could replace them, but it's so close to handing it back, I'm not going to. So just watch out for that. And then you'll see later on the windscreen how a bit dirty like that is. Oh, and the infotainment system is terrible. This is using the same one from the Miata, and back then in 2017 the Miata didn't get anything like Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, so you can get navigation, but it's way too expensive, and you can again just use your phone to get mount. Luckily you can, which you should be seeing, you can see Android Auto on the screen, which is nice, and you have to put on yourself. You can't put CarPlay on it, but you can put stuff like that, and I also did some quality of life updates to it, but everything else, responding to text is terrible because everything's all preset. You can't record a message within that. The voice activation features, they're useless because there's no real option or any situation where you're going to use them really. So I still get the upgraded infotainment system. It's better than the standard radio, and it looks a lot better. But just use Bluetooth for music, and if you have an Android phone, go get Android Auto. It's better than nothing, but that still doesn't work the best, but again, better than nothing. The main pain point I've had with this car are these wheels. Well, I mean, not wheels, but more or less the tires. They're both good and bad, and they're a lot, and the pain point comes a lot of combination with the tire pressure sensor, which is even on right now. Look, the tires are amazing. The Yokohama Advanced Sport V105s, and they're not terribly expensive, but they do cost pretty penny, but they work perfect. The handling is phenomenal on them, the braking is phenomenal on them, they're great. Except they seem to be very prone to puncture, because I've had a good few punctures in this car. I don't know if they lose air easy, because constantly the tire pressure sensor will go on, so maybe that's too sensitive and you should just get nitrogen in the car, because maybe the cold air will fluctuate stuff. I don't know, but it's not fun, because it'll just pop out with a very loud beep and you think something is wrong. Or even more so, it's like good that the tire will not let out air with the puncture, but then bad because you'll still have a puncture and not know you're driving around with the puncture for a couple months, as that has also happened to me. The car drove fine. I mean, I felt maybe a little bit to it, but nothing that was like, okay, I should probably go get this checked out, until I brought it in for service and they're like, hey, by the way, that thing's punctured. That's really the biggest pain point about this car. Everything else is great. Let me wrap this up by saying this is a great car, and I am very happy with my choice. I'm definitely going to own one of these again in the future, whether for a track car, an autocross car, because with some few modifications, it would be perfect for it. I mean, I have taken this around the track, and of course watch those videos in the link in the description on this little eye thing right here that'll pop out. And if you're looking for a small two-seat roadster, a daily driver, a track car, or just something for a Sunday spin, I can't imagine a better one to drive. See you later.